So by this point, most of you guys know that I have worked every job under the sun. I've been a janitor, I was a bouncer at a strip club, I was a teacher's assistant, I worked in fast food, I was a busboy, I was an Uber driver, a Lyft driver, a casino dealer, a whole bunch of shit. But most importantly, one of the jobs that I worked was a retail worker, which was crap. Now, I didn't actually get into retail until very, into my early 20s. My dad, for most of you guys who don't know, my dad's no longer with us. He got diagnosed of cancer, and he died like a fucking loser. And so when he first got diagnosed, the one thing we wanted to do was to move out to California, in order for him to get to know his granddaughters, because he had two kids from a previous marriage. And if you're wondering, oh my God, what happened? Why did your dad have a previous marriage? It's because his ex-wife was a fucking idiot. They got into a big fight one day, and his ex-wife was like, well, if you don't like it, then leave. And my dad was like, okay. So my dad literally was living in California with her, and when she told him that, he bought a bus ticket back in like 1980, 1990, 1991 or something like that. He bought a bus ticket, and then he just fucking moved back to Louisiana. And she called him like a week later, and she was like, where the hell are you? And he was like, in Louisiana. She was like, so we're getting a divorce? He was like, well, you told me to leave. So anyway, so we moved out to California when I was in my early 20s, so my dad could get to know his grandchildren before he passed away. And while I was out there, I got a job at a grocery store. Now, I'm not going to name the grocery store because I don't want to be held liable for any bullshit, but I will tell you that is the largest grocery store chain in Southern California. So I get a job at that grocery store, and it was actually very easy to get the job. I got the job as a day janitor, which was like, I came and I was like, hey, I've got like 4 years experience of janitorial. They took my paper, they looked at it, they said, you're hired, come back on Monday. I said, cool. Couple of red flags about this place. The very first thing you need to understand is that this place is entirely outdated with its policies. One of its policies was no fraternization at work. Now, I want to let you know right now that I don't give a good giggly dick about fucking my coworkers. I used to be like, oh man, I don't go out to bars and clubs. The work is the only place I can meet someone who might want to suckle my ding dong. Nowadays, I don't want to be friends with my coworkers, much less sleep with them, much less date them. So it's pretty simple to me nowadays, but back in the day, I used to be really upsetty spaghetti about it. But even today, I'm still kind of confused at that rule. I understand managers and like normal employees, but like just between two employees, who gives a shit if when you clock off, both of you go home and bury each other through the mattress, right? Like, it doesn't matter if you're doing the bow chicka wow wow when you're off the clock. And personally, whatever I do when I'm off the clock is none of your fucking business. But anyway, that was one of the first red flags I had, was that they were very involved in their employees' personal lives. The second red flag I had was that we had to wear dress shirts, white dress shirts, as a janitor. Now, I don't know if you've ever been a janitor, if you've ever talked to a janitor, but we are very often getting down and dirty on the floor, and not in the fun dip my wick kind of way, legitimately like down and fucking dirt and grime and stains and oil. And in this grocery store, because of how old I was 21 at the time, because of how old I was also authorized to clean up like blood and stuff. And they wanted me to keep this white shirt in pristine condition. They were like, it's got to be ironed. You have to buy like this special shampoo that whitens it. It's like old lady blue. I don't fucking know. They wanted me to buy like all this very specific stuff to keep these white shirts in like pitch perfect condition as a janitor. The final red flag was that I wasn't actually doing janitorial duties technically. I was essentially the broom handler. My job was to dump trash and sweep the floors all day long. Literally all day long. Literally, I started the job. I would come in, I would clock in, I would go grab a broom from the back, I would sweep the produce section, and then I would grab another broom from the back, and I would just walk up and down the aisles. I'd do that for 4 hours straight. I would clock out for an hour to eat lunch, and I'd clock back in, and I would do the same fucking thing for 4 hours straight. But That did not stop me from running into some of the worst fucking people on the planet, because when you work in retail, people are stupid. Every single customer on the planet is a fucking idiot, including you, including me, including chat. If you are a customer, when you walk into a place of establishment, you are a fucking moron. I am convinced becoming a customer removes brain cells by like 30%. I had this old lady come up to me one day. I'm sitting here, and I'm mopping, I'm sweeping the floors, and she goes, "Excuse me, young man." "Yes, ma'am." "These Cheerios are $5.97. That a fucking question? What are you talking about? What? I was like, I guess I haven't looked at the price of Cheerios lately. "They're $3 at Walmart." Go to fucking Walmart then. What do you fucking want? She looks me dead in the eye and she goes, "Why are they so expensive?" I said, "Ma'am, you see this broom?" "Yeah." This is all I do. This is my entire job. I just walk up and down the aisle with this broom. The marketing department does not call me. The marketing department isn't sitting around a big round table and they're like, "What do we charge for the Cheerios?" "I don't know. Hey, I got it. Why don't we call that fat bald janitor out in the middle of the desert in that store that gets basically no business?" "Yeah, give him a call. We'll find out what No, that's not what happens. Apparently you're not allowed to fucking say that to customers. I didn't know. So anyway, I got reprimanded for that one. Another one that I got reprimanded for, I was emptying out the trash, and this guy comes up to me and he's like, "Hey, where's the Velveeta cheese?" I was like, "Oh, aisle 1. I was just over there and it wasn't there." I was like, "Yeah, middle of the aisle, top shelf, aisle 1. I'm telling you, you don't have cheese on aisle 1. "Yeah, bro, because you know so much better than the guy who's worked there for fucking a year." All right, awesome. So I fucking take his dumbass to aisle 1. We get there, and I go to the middle of the aisle, and I reach on the top shelf, and I grab the Velveeta cheese, and I hand it to the most dumbstruck person you've ever seen in your life. Like, legitimate. Have you ever seen somebody who realized they were wrong and stupid, but their ego and their pride won't let them admit it? So he takes the Velveeta cheese, he looks me dead in the eyes, and he goes, "That wasn't there 30 seconds ago." "No, bro, I'm sorry. You're right. No. You're right. All my coworkers were standing on the other side of the door there from the back section, and they were watching you. And as soon as you walked away, they went, 'He's walking away. Stock the shelves. Stock the shelves. Stock the shelves. Go, 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 go.'" Customers aren't what made me quit, though. Customers aren't what made me quit. I got really bored as a day janitor because I did nothing all day. And so eventually I started taking it upon myself to start detailing. So basically the rules were I had to sweep the produce section every 30 minutes and sweep the aisles every hour. It takes 5 minutes to sweep the produce section. It takes maximum 10 minutes to sweep the aisles. So I told myself, I said, you know what I'm going to start doing? I'm going to start grabbing a rag. I'm going to start wiping down shelves. I'm going to start cleaning. I went through and got like the vents. I pulled the vents up, started like cleaning them, gave them like a full like hot water bath, everything. So I started like basically going above and beyond, which if you haven't been in the workforce long, I'm going to teach you a life lesson. Never, ever do more work than they tell you you should be doing. You might think, oh man, if I bust my ass and I work really hard, they're going to promote me and I'm going to make more money. But instead, what's going to happen is one of two things. Number one, they are going to hand you more fucking work with no more pay. Or number two, what happened to me? I came out one day and I swept the produce section. I did it in 5 minutes like I always do. Brought the boom back. As I'm coming out, the assistant store manager, who was a dick, by the way, says, go to the manager's office. Don wants to talk to you. Now, Don was the store manager, and he was the oldest, most decrepit fuck I've ever seen in my entire goddamn life. He is, this guy was so old, he did the widow walk. You know what I mean? When they like shake while they walk, like that's what he would fucking do. And this was the most sexist, racist sack of crap you've ever seen in your entire fucking life. This old man was 2 seconds away from you've heard of a foot in the grave? This old man was in the grave, and he would pop his fucking head out like a fucking prairie dog and be like, "Are you guys doing your work? Are you doing your work?" It was terrible. So I go to this old fuck's office, and I get in there, and I'm like, "Yeah, what's up, Don?" He's like, "You've been doing too much work." I said, "Excuse me?" He said, "You have been doing too much work." What? One more time. "Your job is to sweep the floors and sweep the floors. You empty trash at the end of the night, and that's all you do." I said, so I've just been detailing because, like, I get bored in between. So you sweep the floors, and that's all you do. I'm writing you up. I said, let me get this straight. You're writing me up because I'm doing too much work? Yes. I said, so I'm fast, I'm efficient, everything is clean, the store is cleaner than it's ever been, I'm doing my job as a janitor, and you're writing me up. Yes. I took off the apron they made us wear, the ugly ass tie, I threw it at his face, and I said, you can take this job, and you can shove it into your bony ass and disintegrate! 2 months later, they called me because the other day janitor they had basically quit his job.